Salam, salam, salam. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In human life, we experience many challenges, and there are always changing issues that we need to deal with, to grapple with. No one is ever excluded from that, the up and the down, breathing in, breathing out, sleeping, waking, the experiencing of the good and of that which we consider to be repulsive or bad, on and on and on. We are coming to an age globally that you find what was prevalent very recently, 50 years ago. My language, my culture, my religion is now connected with a global scene of realizing the essential sameness of human beings. 100 years ago, if anybody from the East, Muslims or whatever, have gone to a Western country with a mosque, they would have been bombed the first day. Now in New Zealand, it took quite a long time for them to be afflicted. Times have changed to an amazing degree towards the unification of everything, connectedness of everything. We're living at a time now that, compared to one generation ago, the challenges of family, nationality, language, religion are such that they're almost being surpassed by the challenge as to who you are. Who are you? What is this thing you call your life? Where did it come from? Where does it go to after you die? The Western world that prevails throughout the world had for centuries been in denial of death. It was only 50 years ago that the issue of death began to be considered as all right to talk about. It was taboo. It was only some of their populist counselors and others in the last 30, 40 years that made talking about death, referring to death, or trying to understand its nature is all right. Whereas in most of the Eastern traditions, from early on, the issue of death was critical. Remember death. In all cultures, religious cultures, it was important to give importance to this amazing transformation. And the definition of it, whether it was in the Eastern Chinese or Indian or Hindu or whatever, was often very similar in that, in truth, there is no death. In truth, there is only life that is forever. And the so-called your life, his life, her life, are like a drop of the ocean, has within it the qualities of the whole ocean. So your life is a spark from that light, which we call the light of life. Now, we all also as human beings consider qualities and attributes which are important, like honesty, like truthfulness, like faithfulness, like consideration and kindness, and on and on and on. So it is only considered appropriate if you question as to where is this life from? Who gave it to you? Who takes it? Who is that person? Where is that person? And so on and so forth. So the idea of deity or God or divinity is very early in human history. Who is it that created it? Where is he? How can I be in touch with him? Because we love power. Everybody, everything that is alive wants to be more and more connected with higher power. Supreme power is given these names of Allah, God, the One, and whatever, the Atman. We're coming to a time in human life that the convergence of higher knowledges is no longer the exclusive, if you like, domain of any particular people. 60, 70 years ago, in many cultures, take the Hindu culture, you could not talk about the Vedantas. It had to be by a Brahmin, somebody who's also qualified. So it was supposed to be only in the hand of people who were experts or specialists. To a great extent was the Qur'an. Also, you are a peasant, you can't read and write, you can't talk about Qur'an. You just sit there and listen. But then with the amazing speed at which literacy spread out, everybody can read it, everybody can listen to it. You can have actually a bewilderment of number of people who are reciters on your cell phone. So we have to read the time we are in. The time we are living in globally is that instead of it being flat and horizontal, who are your neighbors, what do they say, what your relatives say, what your tribe will say, it's now going to be more and more vertical. What does God say? If you put God aside, what does your inner light say? What does higher consciousness in you say? And so on and so on. So there is a major transition in the world, everywhere. But we need to read it because we are often very colored by our past judgments. Understandable. You and I and he and she at the moment are looking at the situation through the memories that we have accumulated and the judgments that we had, personalized. And now you say, yes, oh, it was very nice, but I didn't like the people. Or I liked the people, but it was not very nice. And on and on and on and on. Endless opinion. And everybody likes to express their opinion. Give everybody a chance, they like to lecture. They like to have, the larger the audience, also they consider themselves more powerful or more empowered. In other words, these are the qualities of God, of Allah, or whatever. That it is everywhere, all the time, beyond time, before time, after time. And this is what we want. Today I wanted to talk to you about a specific topic, which is a key one and a most important one. And that is historical, cultural, allegorical. It's to do with light and shade, darkness and light. Most human cultures have used these as an indicator of what we like. What is it we like? The 3 C's. To be conscious, to be alive. Everybody wants to be alive. Everything you and I and he and she do is to prolong life and quality life, not just in a coma. You say, this is not life. But most people are in a coma anyway, although they are walking on 2 legs. But if you really go deep down, you see, you don't know who it is. You see. Now, to be conscious, to be alive. Every industry in this world is to do with that. Whether it's the medical industry, whether it's the educational industry, to keep people in a reasonable quality of consciousness alive. The second one is to connect. Connect. Oh, he is a very good employee. We're very proud to have this new person. He's got a large network of professionals. He's very well respected, Network. Very well connected. But is your kidney well connected with your lung? But you don't talk that language, because it's we're too busy. We can't talk to your kidney. When is it last time you talked to your liver? If anybody can tell me if it was within the last few years, please let me know. We're connected in one way and disconnected in many other ways. One of the greatest 7 attributes of truth is to express, the expresser, the speaker. So that's why everybody wants to speak out. A child who had not been allowed earlier on, and I know quite a few people now at their old age, all what they want is to talk. They were not allowed earlier on. So now they found an audience, they grew up, so that people saw that he's a grown up. Grown up, he's maybe 4 years old in terms of consciousness age. Anyway, so to connect is the second one. And the third is to continue. Everybody wants to continue. And nature has put it in most people is that no, we have, mashallah, our tribe has been going on for 600 years. Or, I have so many children and so many. To continue. Truth is ever continuous. Light of lights has no beginning and no end. I selected 20 items here, 19 items, but each one of them may contain more than one ayah to do with the issue of light and shade, or darkness and light. As I said earlier, in most human cultures, light is considered to be desirable because it enables you to connect. You can see, you can relate, you say, oh, this was before that, this is connected to that. So you need light. How many different lights are there? According to the Qur'an, according to physics, endless. Endless lights. The visible light is only a tiny bit of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is enormous. So this visible light is a tiny sample of other lights. Some lights are not visible, but they are far more, if you like, powerful and penetrating and dangerous also than this light. Take the nuclear transmission, which is a light, which is electrons or gamma rays or whatever, but you don't feel them until they burn you out completely because you have been now completely taken over by these penetrating rays. They have killed the cells in you, and now you have been exposed to a lot of, if you like, radiation. Therefore, you are sick. All the organs stop, everything. Lights, they're endless. So are darknesses. The ultimate issue of darkness is that you see everything, you understand everything as science does. I mean, science is basic situation of trying to discern cause and effect and connectedness. What comes first? You can now change the qualities of atoms and molecules and make them, instead of repulsive to each other, attractive to each other. So you make all kinds of new materials, all kinds of new plastics, amazing materials we human beings have made. And that's why we have clogged the earth. We ourselves are like that whale that was caught 3 weeks ago on a beach. It had swollen 40 kilos of plastics. We're the same. How much plastic are we ingesting? Why? Convenience. We want it easy. Easy what? So as you want the thing, it's there. So don't want the thing. So you don't need to worry about it. This issue of ease and convenience has enslaved us. Let it be difficult. So you're aware as to what's going on, what's happening. We as human beings for the last 300-400 years have got ourselves numbed into this issue of convenient. Everything is convenient. You move from one AC place to another AC place and so on. So everything in the outer is convenient and comfortable, but your inner is a jumble. Are you happy on your own? Are you happy if there are others around you? Are you happy when you are loved? Are you happy when you are not loved? Look at the extent that people nowadays want to be attractive. One of the huge industries is to do with cosmetics. All the time, it's all to do with face value. It's all your face. And you damage your hair irrevocably because, you want to paint it. It looks nice. It loses attractive. What does attractive mean? So somebody likes you. What does that mean? Somebody loves you. What does that mean? Somebody may marry me, or somebody may... What next? So the children, we have nice children. Then it's schooling, and then their marriage, and their divorce, and this, that. Endless. No, this is nice to have a family. What family? Oh, I've seen the neighbors, they look very nice. But have you been there for 3 or 4 days? No. Because if you are there for 3 or 4 days, you run to another end of the world. Because you've seen what a miserable life people have. They can't stand each other. They can't sit each other. They can't. Just as well, you can't stand yourself. Are you happy with yourself? Are you truly able to enter into different worlds that your ruh is responsible for providing in this universe? You are carrier of amazing spiritual qualifications. But you don't know it. Why? Because you're busy counting the beans. You're all the time running after some semi-precious rubbish, some stones, and the ultimate mine of gems is in you. But you have not been given the practice, because nobody knew it to tell you. Yet also the same as other parents, struggling to make their own thing, showing off a bit, newer car, a newer house, this, all that. They've missed the main issue. The main issue is to wake up to the permanent life in you. That means you have no fear of death. No fear of death. Death is like good sleep, a natural event. Anything that comes will go. Anything that is born will die. So what's wrong with that? No, because you got used to this little miserable so-called you, and you're afraid of the so-called you disappearing. The real you never appears, never disappears. It's the divine light. That's what the Qur'an says. These ayahs that you have in your hand, all of them describe that, to do with black and white, to do with light and darkness. Could somebody read for me the first?
Heavens and earth were sewn together, and we split them in space. We cause life to emerge from water. Don't you reflect?
So they were inseparable, like truth. It's inseparable from anything. So heavens and earth were seamless, and the seam was open. That is, if you like, the beginning of the kun, or the Big Bang. Differentiated. Before that, it was unified completely. And to that zone, we all will return. After death, after your hisab and kitab and the end of the whole thing, we all return to a zone of completely indifferentiable light of lights. This is what the ayah says. Number 2.
He is the first and the last. He is the first and the last, outer and inner, knower of all things, and encompasses all. He is with you wherever you are and sees all.
These are amazing flashes upon truth about Allah. What is this reality? Who is this God? You can't talk about it. You are talking because of the power you have been given to talk about it. So that's why you have to take permission. I take permission by the name, because everything is by some sort of a label or an entry. So it says Allah is the beginning and the end, the first and the last. So this ends space. No more space. This next one is He is the outer and the inner. So this also ends up time. There's no space, no time. Another zone, if you are a bit scientifically oriented, you can consider the quantum field as referring to this infinitude that is not subject to the rules as we human beings are subjected to. We are all limited. Your day is limited, your life is limited, your breath is limited. And yet each one of us loves the limitless. Give somebody money, or tell somebody, you can ask me now for one thing and never ask after that. So invariably people want money. So that's why the next party that will win elections in many poorer parts of the world is called WWM. We want money. It's everybody. Why do you want money? Because it is liquid, and liquid is better than solid. So it can be liquidity, as it's called. You see, you must form liquidity. So you can do anything. You can immediately transfer it into a building, transfer it into a mobile house, transfer it into a nice gift, a nice necklace you bought for somebody. Invariably say, I wish only the clasp was different. Nobody is ever going to be content, no matter what. This is the nature of the beast. It is the way it's been designed. You, I, he, she can never be content as egos, as lower selves. The soul is ever content. Doesn't need anything. It's giving you unconditional love. You've been misbehaving, abusing, not resting, but it still gives you life. It is really amazing. It can only come from another zone which is beyond reason. He is Allah. Read. Somebody. Good.
He is Allah, the creator, the originator, the shaper. The best qualities belong to Him. Everything in heavens and earth glorifies Him. He is the Almighty, the Wise.
So you must make allowance for the culture. Glorifies Him meaning what? Making some noise in a church or in a mosque? Glory is something that is of a very high value. Everything is obsessed with its origin. Every entity that is alive is obsessed with its life. Whether it is a branch of a tree or a seed or a bird or a mouse, obsessed with life. As soon as the cat appears, the mouse runs away. What is it doing? Saving life, her life, its life. Because it knows somebody is going to munch it. They all eat each other. You see all these creatures. So you will kill for life. The most precious thing you have is life. The most precious thing there is life. So it says here, everything glorifies Him. That's what it means. Everybody loves their life more than anything else ever. So we are all worshippers, but without being conscious of it. So if you become conscious that I love my life, that means I love life. That means I love the life giver. That means I'll do anything for the life giver. That means I will think of the possibility of sacrificing my life for life. There is no such thing as my life. Who gave it to you? The Qur'an is full of challenges on that. It says, and we offered this amazing gift upon the earth and upon the mountains, and they couldn't take it. Only the stupid human being took it. Stupid meaning what? Mental, mind. Calculating, thinking, reasoning. Without a mind, you are not human. But with a mind, you are in a mess. With only a mind, you are in a mess. Without a mind, you are subhuman. You are in a coma, as most of them are. Don't see them walking on two legs. It's a coma. Suddenly it came out of... They're all dead. The Prophet ﷺ says, people are dead. When they die, they wake up. الناس نيام. They are asleep. In matu intabahu. When they die, they understand what is it. Because you're no longer the association, the illusion that you can do things yourself. Who is yourself? I can lift my hand. By what power? Life. Who gave me life? I don't know. But I'm grateful for it. Good. But then ask permission. No, I was absent-minded when I punched you in your face. Where were you then, absent-minded? No. You were very much in a lowest level of ego-mindedness. You were not absent-minded. You were very much there, oozing with your animal state, because you're not aware. You're not aware of awareness. This is the amazing gift to human beings. Aware of awareness. So you are double. Every human being is schizophrenic to a very small extent. Bipolarity, everyone. We are polar being. 1 minute you are very generous, very well-meaning, say, please take it, it's very nice. Another meaning, tell me, who are you? You say, well, I vacillate. If I'm in a good mood, I'm generous. If I'm in a bad mood, I can kick you all. And I denounce you all. And I say, oh my God, rescue me from these people. Just get me out of this house. But you got into that house. You got into that relationship. Who forced you? No, but at that time, you were very nice. 30 years ago, you were very polite. And so were you. Both of you, then get back to 30 years. Too late. Too late. So, the moment is infinite. The present moment has a touch of the past and is giving you a spark about the future. And it continues to the next moment, until infinity. Life is infinite. Life is boundless. You who have identified yourself with your body, you are all the time anxious. Have I not done it? Have I got it? No, but there are so many things I wanted to do. And there was that little hill I wanted to climb. And it was that shoe I wanted to wear. But now you are crippled, you can't wear those shoes. No, because you wear it already for 20 years with high heels, now your hip is gone. But no, there are many things I still want to do. Do. Who has made you the doer? Who is the ultimate author? We have no time to reflect because the traffic takes so much out of you. You get home, you have a headache, nobody's got the food, etc. It's becoming not a nuclear family, it's becoming everybody in a little box. Soon I think will be everybody with their own car, so you pull off on the side of the road and you go to sleep. Really. I think one of the big valuable businesses will be that latrine there in the next car of the car park. I'm not saying this is good or that is bad. All what I'm saying is there is one ultimate goodness, and that is to wake up to the light of lights, not the light of cause and effect. I am now more aware as to what gives me a better career. All right, what next? What's going to make me better in old age? Next, what makes me die cheerfully? That is good. I haven't found anybody per se as yet. As they get into the 50s, 60s, they start being depressed. And the medical industry is all lined up there to help them. Your depression is very early stage, so we give you very low dose. Before you know, it goes into 0.5 milligram. Before you know, you're up to here with medication. Before you go, you have a bag full of medication. You know what it is? I am chronically depressed. Now, everybody has to cow in front of you. He's chronically depressed. Don't say anything to upset him, He's chronically, he is CD. Not diplomatic, chronically depressed. This is who we are. Who depressed you? It's you're living as though you are only the mind. You're not only the mind. Mind is very important to arrange for the light of your ruh, your soul, to accept the imprisonment, the journey, the changes of you as a human being on earth. It is all in motion. It is all in transit. You're transiting from the infinite unknown via the finite known back to the infinite unknown. وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ الْمُسْتَقَرِّ قرار. So practice it. All religious, spiritual practices are to enable you to realize you are two. The one human bit grows from babyhood until maturity, until your mid-30s, mid-40s, 50s. Then you have got humanity, divinity. And from there on, if divinity does not supersede humanity, then you are not yet ready. Then you are still suffering, every now and then falling into the zone of limitations and darkness. Next.
If all the trees on earth were pens, and the 7 seas ink, the words of Allah will not be finished. Creation is endless.
So that's what it is. The variations in creation are endless. If you want a summary of all of that, is differentiated sameness. Originally it is all same, pure energy, pure light. And then that light begins to have a certain color. This is why even our normal visible light, with a slight modification of it, it shows you that it is composed of all the colors, the rainbow colors. So there are infinite varieties. The origin is the same, the destiny is the same. And then the next one, we created pairs of all things. This is the most crucial ayah. Nothing ever exists unless it is in pairs. Good and bad, up and down, dark and light, and so on. Millions of them. Therefore, flee to Allah, because choice, in a way, is confusing. You can have this, you can have that, you can have more color, you can have slightly more red, endless. He said, no, please give me the right color. But we have been, in a way, encouraged to remain as kids. I want a red shoe. I want a red shoe on my right foot and a green shoe on my left foot. So, not everybody does that, but I'm not everybody. I'm very special. Don't you love me, mommy? Of course, I'm very special. Endless choices, so that with slight getting out of that dark tunnel into light, you say you only want the one right thing at that moment. You don't want too many things at that moment. That moment is one, and what you want to do is to face it with a state that is conducive. Give me the appropriate thing. That's why my mother was considered a great cook. Whenever she was asked about recipes, she'd say, according to the measure. Now, what that measure is, nobody knows. She said, measure it appropriately. You can see it. In your hand. Papa, her hand is tiny. Your hand is calm. According to it. One hand. So, appropriately, what you want to measure, not because of the measure. You want to know the quantity, not because of the quantity. In order for the quality to be right, for it to match. So appropriateness. According to that which will stabilize, which will bring peace, which does not disturb, which does not add to sadness, misery, and suffering. That's why every action, every intention any one of us does, we're accountable. So why are you doing it? What is your inner intention? Then what about your attention? Then what about your action? Is it the right time? Is it the right place? Is it, not possible. Once there is thunder, when there is this, the ants all disappear. And once the weather changes, you can almost feel the electromagnetic field. It changes, they come out and they try to restore their partly damaged place and so on. It's all in harmony, perfect harmony. We human beings want to be in perfect harmony with the additional small little leeway of the illusion of independence. I can do that. I can lift it, I can put it down. I can pour it. The illusion of independence. Then I'm given the mind and reason and aql. So is it the right place to throw it out? But this is a nice carpet, Don't know what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What is the benefit of it? What is the adverse effect of it? So you balance all of these quickly, and then you do what is appropriate. Often, what's appropriate is to keep quiet. What is appropriate is that which gives the possibility of goodness in a durable way. Why durable? Because your ruh is most durable. Your soul is forever. So whatever you want to do is forever. Like Cecil Rose, they say, the last thing he asked, he said, for how many years will this name Rhodesia will remain? So it is said, we don't know. They said, somebody said it's 2,000 years. He He said, oh, that's nice. My name will be 2,000 years under the flag. He didn't know that the Saudis will live longer. The Saudi Arabia, this Rhodesia. Everybody wants to have his name on half the world. My flag. It is a false replica of the Noor of Allah, which is within heavens and earth and beyond and your soul, which is from that. So all what you're trying to do is to do that. So know that heavens and earth and all of the cosmos is none other than different shadows emanating from that divine light. This is the cosmology. Once you understand that, then you are able to put things in perspective. Then the so-called your light, your soul, your life is only a replica of that which is the only truth, the only reality.
O mankind, we created you male and female and made you into nations and tribes that you may come to know one another. The noblest among you in Allah's sight are the most pious.
The word atqakum, taqwa, is cautious awareness, is that you are aware what you're doing, you take permission. You're not doing it simply because I wanted, he wanted, so everybody is killing everybody else. Because I wanted that, you wanted the same. Because that's why whenever it comes to so-called earthly treasures, whether they are metals, whether they are gold, silver, or stones, or diamond, there is higher and higher and higher securities on them. Because everybody wants that. Why? Because it's instant power. Why? Because it's a small, high value power in my hand. So if you have in your hand, if you like, a 50 carat diamond of high quality, they have the 4 C's. I have 3 C's. This carat, clarity, color. Anyway, so if you have it in your hand, you feel empowered. Really, try it. Have a 20 ounces of gold in your pocket. You feel more empowered. You see, the others don't know. No use having rand because you don't know its value tomorrow. Or dollar is the same. Have something that all human beings have had a lot of sweat and toil. And thousands of Brazilians have died simply because they were sifting to have a few grains. So power. Why? Because it's rare. The most rare is that which you don't see. That's why kings and emperors, if they wanted to maintain their power, you mustn't look at them. Because otherwise you discover they are idiots like you, like everybody else. They have to go to the bathroom. For 3 days they don't go to the bathroom. They become a balloon. They blow up. So you mustn't look at the last emperor of Japan. But you can't look. It must be looked at. And also so many of the religions, also they said, you can't look at our prophet or number one. Not allowed. It's not to be seen. And then, yet, Muhammad declares in the Qur'an. Qur'an declares on the tongue of Muhammad, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. I am the same as you as a human being. يُوحَى إِلَيَّ. The only difference is that I have a connection with the light of lights which is in me. That's all. So there is nobility in that humbleness.
Bismillah. It is He who created you from dust, then from a drop of fluid, then from a tiny clinging form. Then He brought you forth as infants. Then He allowed you to reach maturity. Then He let you grow old, though some of you die sooner, and reach your appointed term so that you may reflect. It is He who gives life and causes death. And when He decrees a thing, He but says to it, be, and it is.
This is a brief, quick, if you like, biography. Everything had come from the solidification of energy. Billions of years ago, there was this unknown energy. And from it, within a split second, emerged all kinds of entities. And then the emergence of the galactic, if you like, amazing cauldrons. And then all of the other amazing creations within them. And then ultimately what we think is a very important thing, which is life in the form that we understand it on earth. But there must be many other forms of life, but we do not see that this is another universe. So the creation is multiverse. This is only one tiny little thing, tiny little Earth, tiny little solar system, insignificant galaxy out of billions and billions of stars. So if you put it in perspective, we are made of these four major, if you like, substances. The hard stuff, calcium, whatever, our bones, which is the structure. And they are alive. That's why, the bones will calcify if they are not alive. And then there is the fluidity. All the rivers of the thousands of kilometers long of our veins and our arteries. Blood, fluid, subtle, connecting. And then there is the heat, or if you like, the light that goes in us, the electrons, the neurons, all of it within us, you see. There's all kinds of different, if you like, calibrations of that heat. From the one spark, if you go into the spark, into that, you find it can be enormously hot also. So we have these four things: liquid, gas, solid, and hot or heat or electrons. It's all electrons, modified electrons. All of our modcoms today will not exist if it was not for modification of electrons. We learned how to make them whiz about and put them into these wires and so on, and close the tap or open the light, and they flow and they emit photons. They're electrons. All of it is from the same. Miracle upon miracle upon miracle. Yeah. That's why they say even some people have been seen or known that with their own hand they can actually create some light. With their own hand they can actually burn a newspaper. You hold the crumbled newspaper and it burns. So all of these things are potentially there. But you don't need to all the time look for miracles. Miracle upon miracle upon miracle. Because the entire story of you, I, he, she, creation, its beginning and its end, itself is the miracle of miracles. But we don't have enough time to sit back, shut our mind off, and our emotional rubbish. Emotional immaturity is a big thing. Talking about darkness, there are thousands of different darknesses in us. Physical darknesses. The Qur'an describes the baby comes out physically from three darknesses. One of which is the womb, the other one is the placenta, the other one is the stomach. And what about the millions of other darknesses that we live in now? How many emotional darknesses or dark spots do we have? Suddenly somebody touches it and you suddenly find the black swan. You say, this was a dark spot. I didn't know. I was so sensitive on that. Because your sister or your brother or somebody else was given a more important thing than you, so it remains in your subconscious. No, that was a very soft spot. You touched upon a soft spot. That's why nowadays, interrogation, the interrogators, are being taught more and more and more how to search, how to go into that, if you like, inner recesses of your past to touch a soft spot. Now, the equivalent of something like 80 man-years of top psychologists were unleashed on Saddam to discover what makes him tick. That was when he was in prison, before he died. The conclusion was very simple. Pride. Amazing. The invasion of Kuwait, they discovered, was entirely due to that pride. He sent the Minister of Foreign Affairs to tell them, I can't pay you because they paid him. You see, again, suddenly they saw this fellow is attacking what they perceived as their enemy, Iran. And they told Saddam, thought, 3 weeks. 3 weeks and it's over. 8 years. And they had to. So it didn't. So they knew him fairly well, that this man is a one-man show. And not only the whole country, all of the Arab world is there on their knees afraid of him and backing him up with money. Billions and billions of dollars. Not only Kuwait, not only Saudi, all of them. Just to keep him off and also for him to keep attacking Iran. Because they perceived Iran as their enemy. And look, they're supposed to be Muslims. One of the first Islamic teaching is حق الجار على الجار, the responsibility of the neighbor upon neighbor. We become enemy with our anyway. So he sends the Minister of Foreign Affairs to Kuwait to tell them, not only your 8-10 billions I've swallowed, I'm also taking your oil, because they began to drill, in a manner that Kuwait considered them actually stealing from their reservoir. It is oblique drilling. So the ruler of Kuwait was so upset, he said something very nasty about Iraqi women. He said, we'll make all of your women as our little, So this, when the message came to Saddam, he blew up. Immediately, the machination for the war against Kuwait began. He said, I'll show them. They insult our women, because his love for his mother, his love for reverence, respect, Arab respect for women in a way. So people are not what you think they are. Suddenly some little thing touches you and you blow up. Because you were upset by that so many times before, so don't touch that, that's a very soft spot. Soft. So, next.
Bismillah. We believe in the revelation of all prophets. We make no difference between them, and we prostrate to Allah in acceptance.
Now, Al-Qur'an bil-Qur'an. There is another ayah that says, وَفَضَّلْنَا بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. And some of the prophets are considered of a greater status than others. Now here it says we don't see any differences between them. It's for that reason you need to have Quranic education. Quranic education implies correct, deep understanding of the Arabic and also of the culture. So one ayah says, وَلَا نُفَرِّقَ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ. We don't find any difference between them, meaning their light, meaning their access to truth, meaning their connectedness with the divine source. They are the same. But the other ayah says, some of them are of a greater stature. They affected the world at that time more. Huge number of people, or few people, or some of them obscure some of the prophets. So this is a magnificent ayah. It says all revelations, all openings of truth that has come to mankind, we accept. Look at the universality of the Qur'an. You see. Next.
Bismillah. We offered the trust to the heavens, the earth, and the mountains, but they declined to carry it and were afraid of it. But man carried it, and he is unjust and ignorant.
This is a magnificent ayah. Trust meaning the nature of the soul. Here, amana, amn, from the same root. Peace, amin, or iman, all of them are from the same root. Amana means the ultimate trust, valuable trust. What is the most valuable trust? It's your own soul, your life. The most valuable thing you have is your life. That's why you revere it. That's why you want to look after your body, about your food, about your rest, about your comfort, about your security. You love life. This is the ultimate trust. And it is a miracle of miracle that, only very recent, only in the last 5-6 generations, the ultimate crime in existence is to murder someone. It wasn't like this. 200 years ago, people had a lot of feast and eating each other. It was not. It is an amazing miracle that the whole world considers the ultimate crime is to commit murder. What a progress. Not a small thing, really. Enormous progress. As I said, 200 years ago they would have feast and suddenly they catch few people passing by and have a barbecue. So look at the amazing speed at which humanity has evolved. It is now the time for divinity to be recognized. So the Qur'an says, and this trust, this most trustworthy, the most valuable thing was offered to everyone. Nothing could take it except insan. You must distinguish these words. Insan is a human being which contains the light of lights, the divine light in the heart, and all the animals. We understand all the animals because of that. We can commune with all the animals because we emerged in a biological sense, in an evolutionary sense, in the physical sense from that. Not in a spiritual sense. That is timeless. So that's why we understand all animals. That's why we consider ourselves as superior to all the other animals. And probably they consider themselves often, when I've looked at some cats and dogs, they look at each other and their owners. They say, my God, what a stupid owners we have. You know, really, they talk to each other. They say, what have we done wrong to deserve this idiot? Or they don't give us the right food. We want to eat their food, but they give us posh food from a can or something. No, I want to have their food. No, it's not good for you because it makes more smell. Anyway, so it says we offered this most valuable thing to other entities. Nothing could take it. Nothing could gel with it. Mankind, kana zaluman jahula. He was most unjust and most ignorant. My human nature is unjust and ignorant because I want things the way I want. Is that justice? No, I want it exactly. You didn't do my coffee today exactly. Oh, the coffee has stopped. No. Go and see the coffee shop. It is as your whimsicality takes you to becoming the ultimate dictator of all. Don't you know? I am the bread provider. What do you mean bread provider? Horrible. Human being can be really the nastiest of all. ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين. We put him down the lowest of the lowest. But then within the heart lies that which is beyond the highest of the highest. So the whole spectrum is immense. The nur of Allah and the darkness of all the animals. So you choose where your tuning is. And we all know that if you go more to the lower animals, you regret it. You'll have guilt. You will have bad conscience. Maybe after 20 years, you write a little card and say, please excuse me, I was wrong, because you don't want to admit it. Because your ruh never is wrong. But you're wrong, but you don't want to see, you're shy of your ruh now. Make up your mind. Who are you? We know you are schizophrenic, but are you more ruh or more shadow? You decide. Say, no, I don't know which I am. Depends on my mood. Every second I'm a different. Don't come near me now. You suddenly switch off a red light. Look, I'll bite you now. So that's why the poor mother knows. Say, no, don't talk to your father now. Let him have his lunch. He had a bad day. He's been fired from his job. So the mother knows better because she has to produce some results, some food, something. The fellow is not. The dog. All the animals are there. Have you fed them all right? Have you kept them in the zoo all right? Don't lose the key. And what is the key? Bismillah. I'm now talking to my wolf. Bismillah. All right, Wolfie. No. Somebody has a cat called Wolfie. Number 10.
Bismillah. He created you from a single self, then from its counterpart. He created you in your mother's womb in changing phases and in 3 darknesses. Darknesses, and lights, and lights, and lights. This is the play of life. Endless darknesses. As I speak, I am producing a special darkness of the unknown. You are trying with your own mind and understanding of a language or whatever, make sense out of it. What does it mean make sense? Connect with it. Connection is the beginning of light. Inshallah, next talk, I'll talk only about connections from the Qur'an. Wasal, Isal. It's all about that. The Qur'an condemns those who do not connect. Goodness. And condemns those who break the connection which are good. And encourages those who connect in joining the good. Connect. So, anything that exists has in it darkness. My sound, my voice has in it darkness. It's unknown. What if I suddenly say, Kantarfuli perkanyam? Did anybody translate that?
California, Kenya? No. I'm in the wrong place. No, it doesn't connect. You see it? It doesn't. So it's a darkness that you leave aside. But other darknesses you tackle. No, they said some. What did they mean? She said, I really love you. But the way she said it, I can't quite understand. Why was it said? And on and on. You're trying to make more light. Shine more light. See it under stronger light. Light of lights of light. Now, the ultimate darkness, the most difficult darkness, is the darkness of higher meaning. Here you are sitting together, listening. I'm trying to share with you the gems, the magnificent exposures that we have been gifted through this amazing phenomenon of the revelation of Qur'an, which was the summation of hundreds, if not thousands of years of the Abrahamic traditions, closer traditions, and it's universal. It's rahmatan al-alameen. But if we did not do it rahmatan al-alameen, we end up in a whole world increasing with Islamophobia. Because we didn't do it. We became local. This is, our mosque. We are not quite the same as the other. You already, by your tone of voice, you have denounced the other mosque and denounced the other one. Confusion upon confusion. What else can you do other than exude yourself? If you're confused, you spread confusion. That's it. Go and find those who are fused, who are together. Rare, really. It's almost an extinct species. We're concerned about the extinct of so many animals. Almost every month there are 2, 3 or more are extinct. But also human beings, people who are in this earth, not of this earth. Where are they? So the issue is that not until you have the meaning of the meaning and the light of the meaning, then you find it's Allah's rahmah. And he says, Subhanallah, it is all from Allah. Everything from Allah. Everything from the One. But we want to differentiate because the mind's nature is to differentiate. Is it up? Is it down? How dark is it? How light is it? How long is it? How short is it? Measure, measure, measure. Perspective, perspective, perspective. That's the mind. But is that all? Are you happy with that perspective? All the time you have become a measuring bureau. Oh, today you are loving me only 52%. But once upon a time it was, I thought, even 99%. I liked that. Love is connection. Nothing more, nothing less. So don't deceive yourself. Romanticize, fantasize. Love is unconditional connection. That's why I said, this fellow loved this. They're very different. Because of the difference, they want to connect it. That's why, until 2, 3 generations ago, people hardly married from the next village, let alone from another culture. Look at the Indian Muslims here in these countries. They're still there. My grandfather married only, they wouldn't let them. It is because it was familiar, it was known. Now it is mankind, human being. So the more that cultural mix is cocktailed, the more you find essentially it is from the sameness. We all want the same thing. What is it? Light to understand the situation. Light to be comfortable with the situation. Light to be unified with the situation. Light to be at all times happy with the situation. That's all what we want. We want to be happy. Happiness is a state. It's not something you can buy. It's your inner state of describable contentment. Yes, I've had a safe place. I had a nice night. I had I had a reasonable food. So all of these are discernible. Yet the rest comes with trust. I am happy. Otherwise you say, it was all nice, but I am very hysterical now about the fear of next moment. I don't know what. So I am anxious, anxiety. Everybody is on a pill. Because you have not learned to trust. Do your best and leave the rest. That's all what it takes. No, what happened if I lose? What happened if I do? So you're all the time worried about things that your mind is creating because your mind wants to be the king of kings. And the king of kings is your own ruh, the representative of the cosmic king. But your mind wants to be that. It is its shadow. It can't be that. So thank it, oh shadow, thank you. You're connecting the ultimate light with all the millions of shadows on earth. So you are an intermediate faculty. I want to have a clear mind, but I don't want to be only a mind, only a calculating machine. It's not good enough. Where is the humor in it? Where is the joy in it? Where is the freedom of giving and taking without conditionality in it? So that's why the majority of people are dead before they have died, you see, really. Poor worms, they have nothing to enjoy. There is no juice in it. There has been no life in it, you see. Next.
Man was truly created anxious. Whenever misfortune touches him, he is filled with self-pity. And whenever good fortune comes to him, he is mean.
That's me. Really, if you are not that, if you don't experience that, then you are not human being. Please go away to the zoo or somewhere else. Every human being has that touch of humanity. If something is nice, you become very clever. And if not, you become anxious, you become concerned, you become moody, you become, and so on. That's it. This is the lower nature of human beings. But if you transcend it, constantly switch it off, maintain that light of lights, then these aberrations and changes don't afflict you. They don't remain with you so long. It's just passed like a little cloud. Otherwise it becomes you. That's why you have to live in a psychiatric ward.
O man, you will strive constantly to attain to your Lord, and you will meet him.
The Arabic word is fantastic. It's actually the sound of it shows it. Ya ayyuhal insanu innaka kadihun. You are struggling like breaking rocks. Ila rabbika kadha. Constantly you are in that struggle. Famulaqi. One of your lords, one of the most immediate lords of your master is your own soul, your own heart, in you. Your Lord is within you. Allah is within you. So what does it mean Allah is within you? Allah is with you wherever you are. What is that? What's that? Most people love their money, love their thing, but every now and then you leave your card behind, so Allah is not with you. So your card is behind or somewhere. It's within you. Your own soul, the source of your life is there. This is your Lord. فَمُلَاقِي. Are you in tune with the higher light in you? Or is it all your mind and your memory and your reputation and your status and your fears and your sorrows that are leading you? Which is misleading you. That's what it is. That's why you hardly come across anybody who's really safe to be with. Really, hardly. I've been asking Tahir for 20 years, find me one person who's safe. I think one day he may come to me and says, it's me. Then I'll tell you he's gone mad. Once somebody says, I am safe of my own inner, know that. We are always on alert. You never know. The air goes in, may not come out. So what is the safety? They have to run quickly before you start stinking. Because they had respect for you now. Suddenly, that's why we have to bury them soon. It's a wonderful thing. Don't keep them too long.
People were one nation, and differences between them would have annihilated them except for God's grace.
Meaning, once there are two, they are at warhead. Two is not real. Two cannot accept, no matter who they are. So it says people were one people, one nation, one reality, one nature. Sons of Adam are the same, children of Adam, daughters of Adam. But once there is a group, my family, their family, what is it? You want comfort and ease. Why do you want comfort and ease? So you don't have struggle in the physical sense. What do you want to do? To be neutral. What is neutrality? Middle between heavens and earth. You don't deny the earth, but you want the heavens. You want that light. You want to be relaxed. That's why we like to enter that zone through a chamber of a bit of a relaxation, that you lose your supremacy of what you consider to be important, your mind. So you're relaxed. Feed the brute. Also give them a drink or give them a drug or give them some alcohol. Anything goes. I will do anything for you. Stupid people. So we all want to be in a state that we are not caught by our physical needs, mental needs, material needs, food, drink, air, energy, electrons. We want to be always in a neutral situation. Why? To have more and more access to that which is the highest, which is in me. Because I know that will prevail. I know that is real. I know that is true.
Bismillah. It is Allah who brought hearts together. If you spent all that is on earth to bring hearts together, you would not be able to. It's Allah who reconciled them. The mighty, all-wise. Allah is sufficient for you and the believers.
These two ayahs sum up the entire creation. Physically, materially, biologically, twos clash. And higher level, the souls don't clash. They are the same. So if I compare myself to anybody else, biologically, physiologically, biographically, it's not the same. It's foreign. I don't want them. It's rejection. But once I consider myself as a higher light, which is from the cosmic light, and that everybody else is from the same origin, then I'm friend with everyone. Then I regard everybody else potentially as me. There is no otherness then. It is only differentiated sameness. Because the soul is the same. The giver of life in me and in you and in her as humans is the same. The giver of life in all the cats is the same. That's why they know each other. And the rats and the mice and the ants and so on. There is slight variation between the different tribes of them. There are something like perhaps 11, 12,000 different tribes of, if you like, species of ants. There's slightly varying characteristics and so on. So if you consider these two ayahs, if you look at the ruh, at the soul, at the heart, we're the same. Because the heart is metaphorically also where the soul lies. You see, I touch my heart. My soul, your soul, metaphorically is in the heart. But it is in every cell. Every cell is alive. You see. So mentally we are different. We quarrel. I didn't like it this way. No, my habit, you don't know my habit. What do you know about me? I don't know me. So what about you? Say you know me. You have to laugh at it. You have to laugh at our differences. They're amusement. That's why the ayah, 4 ayahs of the Qur'an says, life on this earth is amusement. Be amused by it. Laugh at it. Don't take it too seriously. The only thing to be taken seriously is to get out of your own ego and your own identity. This is your problem. Your problem is that you've identified yourself. You don't know me. Don't you know who I am? They should immediately announce on the loudspeaker, this fellow doesn't know who he is. Come and see what it is. Nobody knows who they are. Because you are a mixture. You are truly an amalgam between the infinite, beyond measure, and a small little entity of a measure. You need to eat, you need to rest, you need to go to the bathroom. You're ridiculous, but sublime. Sublime and ridiculous at the same time and in no time.
Bismillah. If Allah knows of any good in your hearts, He will give you more than what you lost. He is all forgiving and compassionate.
In the field of economics, there's been a big buzz. People have also won, 5 different people won the Nobel Prize in the last 9 years, based on one issue. Loss amongst human beings is considered worse or more important, more remembered than gain. It's amazing. So if you have suddenly been given a new house, you have won the lottery, you've got a new house. Suddenly you've been told you have a new house. Now, of course, you immediately start cutting the trees to make more furniture and all of that rubbish. Or you've been told, look, your house, for some reason or another, fell into an earthly sink. It suddenly disappeared. It's not burnt, it's just not there. You lost your house. Thousands of people do that. Something estimated like 130,000 people in Iran lost their houses within a week. Can you imagine what a catastrophic thing? Suddenly you no house. And poor people. Thousands of villages had to be evacuated. Now, losing your house is losing something is far more impacting on you than gaining something. Why? Why? I'll tell you next year. Unless you pay the fee to Zahira. You make sure that they... Look, we are designed and programmed wanting to wake up. That's why FOMO is one of them. Fear of missing. I don't want to miss out. I want to wake up to life. I want to know that life is forever. I want to get out of my funk of fear, anxiety, and stress. I don't like that. Because the ruh is not that. The ruh has no stress, has no anxiety, has no fear, has no sorrow. So I want that. Because I am essentially that. So do it. Now, fear of losing is fear of losing your life on earth. Fear of losing the opportunity. Fear of losing the so-called choice you've had to choose that which is permanent. We all want permanent. Please love me forever. It's no use just for one day or 1 month or even 5 years. It's not good enough. No, I don't want years. Don't go away. I want unity, oneness. It's all one. Has been, is, will be. But are you one? Or are you many, miny, moon? So 50 pieces. That is the shattering and the cluttering we all have. So all what it means is this business of darkness and light. We have a job to do. We have work to do. By choice to choose that which is more unified, which is more connected, which is more everlasting, which is beyond space and time. Without denying space and time. Anything in space and time is a sample of that which is beyond space and time. So don't deny the sample. It's a tiny little, beautiful ayahs in the Qur'an. Inshallah, I try and cover those some other occasions. It says, and those in paradise, they say, we have already experienced this before. هذا ما رزقنا من قبل. We have already experienced all these wonderful things. And then they continue, it says, رَبَّنَا أَتْمِمْ لَنَا نُورُنَا. We only want the light of lights. We want the complete light. We don't want light and shadows. Because rizq or provision has in it taste, has in it smell, has in it touch. These are shadows. Shadows that are enabling you to experience that sense or that light or that, if you like, beam. The 5 outer senses, magnificent. And the inner 5 senses, even greater. This is who we are. A most delicate, a most cosmic instrument is being abused. Being completely, in a way, desecrated. You are here to discover that light which is in you, whose essence is here, there, everywhere and nowhere, at any time and at all time. Work that out. If you haven't worked that out, then what are you doing? What are you spending time? Why do you want space and time in between? You say, please give me more space. Give me more time. That means I may be able to discover that which is beyond space and time, that has given light into space and time where I am caught in the second womb. The earthly life we're living is the second womb. It is space and time. So was the mother's womb. So be ready to be your own midwife. Really, and that's subhanAllah, it's wonderful. It was a beautiful womb. You know, I did this, I did, but...
Bismillah. Whatever good befalls you comes from Allah. Whatever evil befalls you comes from your own selves. We have sent you to mankind as a messenger, and Allah suffices as a witness.
So it is I, through my lack of clarity of mind and lack of purity at heart, that I do something that I regret. So the Qur'an says, whatever stupidity you do is your own doing. And whatever goodness has come from the source of goodness. That's it. But Allah has enabled me to also differentiate between what is acceptable and what is repulsive. That also is from Allah. So this is the business of decree and destiny. You can't say, no, I'm going to kill everybody. Allah has enabled me. I can kill everybody. No. Allah has given me the choice, has given me the means, given me the mind, given me discrimination, given me empathy, given me sympathy, so I can't do to others as I don't want to be done to me. I don't. So, suffering that I suffer from is my stupidity, because I did not have the light in that darkness. I assumed he or she is going to save me. How can anybody save you? You're creating your own shaitans all the time. How can anybody else come? He's my savior. No such thing. Muhammad denounces that. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ. Don't say anything. I am like you. But it just happened, I have put aside my lower side, therefore I hear directly the voice of Haqq. So you potentially, every one of us potentially can move into that direction. That is the path of Muhammad. To stop listening to your noises, to your biography, to your reputation, to your fears of provision, to your fears of death. Put them aside. And you'll hear correctly. The moment becomes infinite. You know that your soul, your spirit, your own life is infinite. So anything that I do wrong is from my own stupidity, for not being present at that moment. I assumed something. It's all presumption. What is anger other than wrong assumption? I'm angry with you because when I met you, I assumed you are going to solve all my problems. You can't, you have got your own problem more. Poor person, what can he or she do? They're carrying their bags on their heads. No, they can save you? Come on, don't be so stupid. You're very fortunate if they can cook a reasonable meal for you. Because most of the time it's either burnt or undercooked because they were somewhere else. So most really, you're very lucky if it is So don't blame others, blame yourself. And thank Allah for the light. And consider yourself a fallen victim to your own darkness. Get up, dust your dress and say astaghfirullah and send notes of regrets to everybody. Make sure that you maintain that email address because there may be thousands of them. Again, I regret. At least I'm consistent. Every week I send you my regrets. You must laugh at yourself. Otherwise you take yourself seriously. You say, no, they didn't do it. It wasn't good. You move and change until you're on your 19th marriage and it's no good. The 19th husband has only one leg and also cannot talk. Because your previous husband answered you back a lot. So God has given you now without a tongue. So Baba Jan, wake up. Your soulmate is your own light of life in you. And you're looking for a soulmate outside. I am on my 9th marriage and it's really no good, I made a mistake. Like the story in Iraq, there was this fellow who was wise enough not to get married. So his friends insisted he should get married. So they told him, he said, look, Baba, I've seen other people married. They just want to get out of it. They just want to run away from the house. Some of them even live in their office. They don't want to go back home. So he said, no. Marriage is like the eastern small barrel of honey. Usually, the top part is very high quality honey. Then it becomes murky, and then at the bottom is rubbish honey. So it is. So they insisted he got married. So they saw him in the bazaar. They said, how was your marriage? He said, I think I opened the barrel the other way. From day one, we were quarreling. So at least be watchful. You never know. You may be inside the barrel even.
Bismillah. Hurry towards your Lord's forgiveness and a garden as wide as the heavens and earth prepared for the righteous, who give both in prosperity and adversity, who restrain their anger and pardon people. Allah loves those who do good, who when they commit indecency or wrong themselves, remember Allah and beg for forgiveness.
What is good? There are dozens of ayahs. Amal salih, amal salih. What is amal salih? What is the good? Hayya ala khayr al-amal. What is the best thing you're doing? What is the best act? It's good to give a poor some food. It's because to reduce somebody's pain. It is best to help somebody who is in need. It's best to help. What physically to help somebody to neutralize is good. Mentally, everybody's deranged mentally. Mental illness now is the most prevalent, and we can't deal with it because it's taboo. You will not be employed. All people in any employment situation, they have a mental, if you like, deficiency. It may be emotional, it may be what, no, but nobody admits it. Mentally, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm not mentally sound? I'm going to blow up and blow you up. I am sound. Everybody sees themselves as, what is it? Touch of the ruh is perfect. I am not, I am well. Especially men. Women don't deny it. They gossip and they are much better, much stronger. See? And the men, I've never been ill. Especially if you really want a woman to be in it. Tell the husband, tell the man, you're always ill. For a man to be told you're always ill or weak, or you can't carry the gas bottle up to the whatever, it's terrible. No, I am. Because from the agricultural revolution, women were in charge. They were goddesses, because it was horticulture. So the man comes after 3 weeks of wrong hunting, at least there is some food. But soon after that, they discovered the plow. So he becomes, gods begin at that time. No goddesses anymore. So look at, patriarchy. Thank God it's over. What a mess we made of the whole world. Look at it. Now women's turn is to make a bigger mess. Really, that's it. That's how it goes. Until we discover it's neither about man or woman. It's about complementarity. It's about accountability. Good. What is good? That which reduces unnecessary, unhealthy fears, sorrow, misery. Do good. Do good for others. Have less self-concern. As long as you have the basics, you're reasonably healthy, you're reasonably clear, now you can do good to others because it's unconditional. It is more transmittive. It is more effective. It is more healing. It's more genuine. But don't become a healer, because you are then a stealer. Don't you know I am a healer? Awful, these personality things. Here comes, no. Run away. Have your complete passion for the one, by the one, unto the one. Respect others. But don't fall into the trap of he or she is a great. Great what? They're all going to die. Are you ready to die? Are you truly at ease and at leisure and cheerful about death? If you're not, then you are not alive. That's how it is. These are the stories. This is what the Qur'an says. But we have to do it to ourselves, and we have to be with people who are on the same, if you like, overall direction. That life is cosmic, is universal, and what I have in me is the same as you have. Therefore, I respect you intrinsically. I respect. That is why it is magnificent that thousands of years ago it was said, if you kill one, you've killed the whole. How can you say this life? Unless that particular life and its biography had done so much damage, then it has to pay its balance.
Bismillah. O soul at peace, return to your Lord, well pleased and well pleasing, and enter among my worshippers, and enter my garden.
The Qur'an is magnificent. It uses the word nafs. Ya ayyatuha nafsil mutma'inna. Nafs is used to mean the lowest of the ego, and the more intermediate. And the general sense, nafs, means being. As a Christian word for soul, nafs. It's the same nafs. And then also, in the Quran, nafs also means ruh. So you have to be alert as to the particular context and the overall cosmology of it. So here it says, O self that is content addressing the soul. If the self content, then it is at one with the soul. I am content because my soul is content, and physically, materially, emotionally, I don't have any needs, so I'm content. I'm at one with my soul. So it says, O self, O ego, that is now at one with its ruh, return to your Lord, radiyatan mardiyah. وَادْخُلِي فِي عِبَادِي. Now you can perform your worship. Now you can truly do your ibadah. وَادْخُلِي جَنَّتِي. And there's only the garden. There's only the garden. That's all. So our purpose in this life is only to practice the lowest of the lowest, and hopefully, by grace of the One, touch every now and then of the highest of lights, and realize our existence on this earth is an ever-continuing balance between darkness and light, but our soul, our origin, our destiny is light of lights. So you're ready. You stay 20 more years, you immediately go, the air goes in, may not come out. You're content with the highest sense. Not content because, you haven't fixed the roof in the house. That is a minor aspect of your interchanging a bit of a comfort and ease, protection, helping others who are less than you, and so on. So you can only enter that zone of true safety and the garden if yourself, your lower self, is completely subservient to your higher self, to your soul. وَادْخُلِي جَنَّتِي. Then you're in the garden. Then what more do you want? Then the only thing you can do is to help those who you are touched are correct. Otherwise, you may be going around, somebody is on a trajectory of more, if you like, difficulty. That's how the internal combustion engine. It's become so hot until it bursts. So you can't stop it in between. As you're putting the ignition, you take it out. You can't do that. Somebody is on a trajectory of suffering. They have to have another 20 years of burning. And here you come and give them, as a nice baklava. You can't do that. Who are you? Who has appointed you as the equalizer in this world? Because you want popularity, you want to become famous, so you say, no, I'm helping everybody. I help everybody indiscriminately. No, whoever says that they're stupid. But if you say my intention is good for everyone, that's fine. But otherwise, what are you doing? Why? Often also in many households, if there are 5 or 6 children, most of the attention goes for the weakest one. And the poor, healthy ones are completely ignored. Really, they grow as brats because nobody cares for them. The mother's attention, because we want to lift everybody up to the equality of balance. So watch out. There are hundreds of rules in every aspect of life. Don't disturb the balance. Read it. Don't project yourself because you want to be famous, you want to be popular, you want everybody to look up to you. Who are you? You don't exist. It's a shadow. The real you is a light. So is everybody else. So it's not a big deal. Calm down, be quiet. Last.
Bismillah. By time, man is at a loss, except those who believe and do good and exhort one another to truth and exhort one another to patience.
Bismillah. This is the most magnificent surah. If you have the possibility, the luck, to be able to read it and read it and read it until it's read by you and reading you. Wal asri, at all times, in every situation. I, as a human being, I will lose. I will die. As a human being, I will die. But insan is middle between Rawhan and Haywan, between the soul and all the animals. So I am in the middle. If I am more and more resonating with the light of Rahmaniyya, then my insaniya was only my presence on this earth. It was only a shadow. Whether you have honored it, whether you make a big tomb or a small tomb, it does not matter whatsoever. It's about you, not about me. The real me I discovered was a light. And you can't capture the light and put it in a tomb and sit there and go up and down and put flowers on it. It's only for your sake. It only expresses that you are having a certain reorientation towards that which has gone, but it still is in your mind as a memory. That's all. It's not a big deal. Put things in perspective. At all times, human being, as a human being, loses. Who is the gainer? Who is the ultimate victorious truth? Is the light in your own heart. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Thousands of levels of iman, same as light. Amn, iman, faith, trust, has got also as many levels as lights. You know, I trust that one day I'll come to be trustworthy or trusting, or I have faith that one day I'll have faith. What does that mean? The Qur'an sums it up in one ayah. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, aminu. Those of you who are speaking, talking, tonguing, that you have faith, you like to have faith, enter into faith. Be at one with faith. Then you trust them. Then Allah will guide you. الَّذِي خَلَقَنِي فَهُوَ يُهْدِينِ. Then you trust. So I don't know what I'll do. Don't ask, I don't know what I'll do. I know what I need to know. I will be given to know it at the time I need to know it. Thank you, that's all. So you're living the moment, you're not carrying your baggage of, you don't know. But a certain measure of knowledge that you have got some food here or something there or some money somewhere. You may have kept one of your bundles. I'd done that as a child also. Special sweets, I would keep them somewhere that I forget where I kept them. Because it was such a secret place that I can't remember. So, same thing as you keep some money as you get older also. With money, they do that, older people. He put it somewhere that the children don't discover or the wife, but he also can't discover it anymore. So, and they won't admit it, this is old age. No, mine, not me, others. Everybody's getting older except I. So, all what we want to do is do your best now. And trust in the rest. Not your business. Otherwise, what if my cousin and so on, she's on her third marriage, but what if this goes wrong also? She was suicidal. Suicidal, one person less. The earth cannot support all these zillions of people. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I heard the word is given to mistaken or wrong attempt or bad attempt to suicide is called, what is it? Para-suicide. What you really want is to go beyond the animals, beyond your zoo. Acknowledge them. Of course I have a wolf in me. Of course, don't be too clever. I can also be, no. So you know that. We have it. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ النَّشْأَةَ الْأُولَى. If you only know this ayah is enough. The Qur'an defies you, says, and you were given the knowledge of the original creation, of the beginning of it all. What does it mean? وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ النَّشْأَةَ الْأُولَى. Certainly, you, meaning your soul, meaning your ruh, knows the earliest inception before anything happened. Look what an honor we have been given, and how we dishonor it, and how we mess it about. Blame, claim, and spend so much time in disharmony, disagreement. Why? Because no two insans can be as Ruhan. Until you have become more and more in your own ruh, he or she is more and more in her or his ruh, then you are at one. And that is why the beauty of doing salat together. That means there is no two. That's it. You see. The fellow had built a most beautiful mosque for the neighborhood. This is the custom for the neighborhood, so they hear the adhan. So, and he would be behind the imam. For 20 years, people all got to know this fellow is praying behind the imam, and they were grateful, they had a good time. It was a very flourishing, healthy community. And then one day they see this man who built the mosque sitting at the door praying. It was a surprise, because they've never seen him there. So some people came and asked him, said, what's happened? He said, Today I missed the time, so I came late. I didn't want to disturb people. And I realized that all these 20 years, I was concerned about my reputation for being right there in the front next to the Imam. That is why I'm going to repeat for 20 years of salat that was for other people to see me. So watch out. Imagine this air goes in, may not come out. Are you ready? Are you cheerful? But don't do it right now. They have enough work here to do. Yes, do it at home or let others suffer. I just want to share with you a celebration that as people in this time and age, which is the best time ever, you realize same potentiality in every other human being on earth. But everybody comes from a different culture, maybe different religion, maybe different language, maybe different background. But it is converging. But as Muslims, I have only one hope and one prayers, that have Islamic conduct. Akhlaq Islami. Akhlaq Islami means you regard all human beings as the children of Adam. Serve those who you are touched, you can help. Turn away from those who are nasty and you can't take it. Don't make too much enemies. Enmity is to do with the lowest side of the human being, is the animal. At the higher side, there is no enmity. There is love unconditional, because that is the nature of the ruh. Good luck to you. Assalamu alaikum.